They said nobody goes near the chief's room. Not even the guards. Not even the chief's own wife. It was the only room in the palace with no window. The only door made of iron. And the only part of the building that felt cold, even during Harmattan. But I wasn't supposed to be anywhere near there. I was only a maid. A 17-year-old palace girl who scrubbed floors and washed wrappers. My name is Ezin. And I wish I never stepped into that room. It started the week of the festival. The palace was full, guests, dancers, drummers. Even the king of the neighboring village came with his warriors. The place was alive with music, laughter, and food. But one night, something strange happened. I was sent to clean the back corridor. The others had gone to sleep. As I carried my small lamp, I passed the chief's door. It was open. Open. That door never opened. The key was locked away in a wooden box the chief himself carried. But that night, it hung slightly ajar, just enough for darkness to leak out. I paused. Something in me said, run. But something stronger said, look. So I pushed the door. And I entered. The air was thick. Not with dust, but with something I can't describe. Like the room hadn't breathed in years. There was no bed. No chair. Just red mats, carved wooden statues of the past chiefs, and a table with a large object covered in a red cloth. That was when I heard it. A whisper. Coming from the cloth-covered object. I moved closer. The voice was soft, like it was calling me. Not in English. Not in Igbo. But I understood it. Then my lamp flickered and went off. I stood in full darkness. Before I could run, my fingers touched the red cloth. I didn't even know I was reaching out. I pulled it down. Underneath was a mirror. It was tall. Maybe taller than me. I looked into it. But I didn't see myself. I saw something else. Something sitting where I stood. A woman. Wearing a white wrapper. Hair long and dirty. Skin pale, almost gray. Her eyes were wide. And she was smiling. But her smile didn't look happy. She lifted her hand and waved at me. I screamed. My lamp came back on. The mirror was just glass again. Empty. I ran out of that room, barefoot and shaking. I told no one. That night, I woke up, standing. I was outside the chief's door. Again. I didn't remember walking there. My feet were dirty. My wrapper was wet. The next night, it happened again. But this time, I was humming. A strange song. In a voice that didn't sound like mine. The third night, I opened my eyes and found myself standing inside the room, right in front of the mirror. I was staring at her again. She wasn't smiling this time. She was frowning. As if I was taking too long. The older palace maid, Mama Kego, noticed something was wrong. You've seen it, she whispered one morning, grabbing my arm. You entered the chief's room. I said nothing. She shook her head. I've seen this before. Many years ago. When I was still a young girl like you. A different maid entered that room. After 1 week, she forgot who she was. Her reflection stopped following her. And then, she didn't finish. But, what is inside that mirror? I asked. Mama Kego looked me dead in the eyes. It's not a mirror. It's a trap. Later that night, I went to ask the oldest guard in the palace, Papa Modi. He was almost blind. But his ears still worked like a hawk's. When I whispered my question, he sighed deeply. That mirror was brought here by the chief's grandfather. From across the great river. They said it was made by a woman who could talk to spirits. Why did they bring it? I asked. They wanted to trap power. But they trapped something else. One night, the chief's uncle stared into it for too long. The next day, his shadow stayed behind, even when he walked. I swallowed hard. Papa Muddy lowered his voice. Once it shows you a face that's not yours, it means something is inside. And it wants out. The festival arrived. Drums pounded. Women danced. The chief wore white feathers and smiled for the people. But inside me, nothing was dancing. That evening, I was serving food when my hand began to shake. I dropped a plate. It shattered. Everyone turned. The chief stood. His eyes locked on mine. Ezin, he said. Come with me. I followed him. To the room. The mirror was already uncovered. And the woman inside. She was no longer sitting. She was standing. Behind me. Smiling.